click play and call it work.
MiniWarGamer Dave here from MiniWarGaming.com. Welcome, Wargamers, to another sit-in talk. Today's week, I'll be answering some of the questions that you have left last week for me. Now, this is very important. If you wish to leave comments for next week's presenter, that will be Chris. So any comments in the comments below, leave them for Chris. He will be next week. Also, if you wish to respond to me from this video, because I will look at the comments, before you leave your comment, put Dave, and then continue with your comment, if you wish to comment to me. Otherwise, all other comments will be directed towards Chris. Also, there will be a second portion of this sit and talk video, which will be in the vault. This first one, which will be a half-hour video, will be on YouTube. The other one will be in the vault. So, let's get started with the questions. Unpure says, Dave, apple of corn, what about the other chaos gods? What fruit/food are they? Well, I think that, well, I'm thinking Nurgle is probably like a rotten banana. That'd be my guess, because that probably goes rotten the easiest. Zinch is like a blueberry, and Slanesh would be a pomegranate. You totally asked me on the spot, man. All right, D-Crab, Dave, how are you and Matt friends? I know both grew up in the same ward, but how personality-wise did it work? Matt, stayed stoic, steady Dave. Wild, weird, willing to eat anything. Does not compute. Okay, well, let's see, Matt and I, we've been friends since we were, I think I first met Matt when I was like 4 or 5 years old. So we were young kids. And yes, we grew up in the same ward because we belong in the same church. And maybe it's the personality difference. Maybe that's why we're such great friends, because we complement each other. We're not competing with each other. If we were both the same personality type, we would butt heads a lot more than we do. Because we butt heads sometimes. We're both really prideful, and we're both very competitive. We both love to win. So, I don't know. How do you describe personality chemistry? It's a very tough thing to really pinpoint. You're like, yeah, I get along with that person. You ever meet a person where you meet them and they just make you laugh, and they don't even have to say anything. They just blink their eyes twice, and you're on the floor? Well, that was Matt. Especially growing up, playing games, he'd make all these sound effects, kind of like that guy from Police Academy. And I would just be on the floor all the time, laughing at it. I just thought he was hilarious. Pagan. I think for Dave, the first big question I would have is what he like to see from a new Chaos Space Marine Codex to bring them more in line with other armies. So, I think that Chaos Space Marines need drop pods. And I'm not talking about the Dreadclaw or the Caribus. I'm talking about an actual drop pod in, not that those aren't actual drop pods, I mean like equivalents, drop pod equivalents in Chaos Space Marines, because that would give them drop pod assault, and they would just make them that much more tactically advantageous. Let's see, what else would I like? There's so many things, but I've been thinking about this for years. This is like, Dave, the wish that you've had for years and years and years, what would you like it to be? Where do I start? Where do I start? I think they need more Land Raiders, because they have 1, and all others have 3, so that's another good place to start. I would say more Chaos-specific models as well. They could do a different variant on the Possessed, because that's kind of like the one thing that's special to them, but they can make different versions of it. They can make a shooty Possessed. But number one thing I would say is drop pods. That's just my personal opinion. Drop pods. Kinney. Dave, what's up with the Market Dave? And hi Jay, when rolling dice. By the way, you're my favorite hyperactive, quick-witted, seeing 8s in everything, slightly insane Chinese Viking dude in the show. Also, your body transformation so far has been inspiring. Keep rocking corn. Thank you. I have this infusion of positivity right now, just reading that, so that made me feel good. In fact, that's my whole day is, I can sleep now because the rest of the day is done. So distracted by my feeling of the comment, I forgot what the comment was. So Market Dave. Market Dave is the opposite of WYSIWYG. That's what Market Dave is. So when I have a flamer on my chosen Chaos Space Marine, and I bring him in the game, and I say he has a Melta, even though he's actually equipped with a flamer, that's the Market Dave. Hi Jay. Well, for those of you who didn't know, Jay, or MiniWarGamer Jay, used to work here at MiniWarGaming, and he had the biggest eyes I've ever seen in my life. Also, he's a kleptomaniac, and he was just an awesome dude all around. Didn't actually steal stuff, he would still leave it on the table. He just let you know that he stole it without you looking, to kind of show how awesome he was. He would put your models backwards. You would step out for a drink, and you come back, and your whole army is facing the opposite way. You know Jay was there. But anyway, he's got big eyes, and he always looks guilty, like he stole something, which was 99% of the time true. And so that's why I say hi Jay. When I get snake eyes, I see those snake eyes, I think of Jay's eyes, I see hi Jay. Because Jay's a good dude. And Jay, if you're watching this, hi Jay. Because I'm looking at the eye of the camera lens, the eye of terror, the eye that everyone sees, everyone at the same time. Now we're getting off Orpheus, Dave, any comments on upcoming narrative campaigns? Also, any chance of talking Matt into doing a large campaign that features all of the producers and their armies? I still like Steve's Cabal in your warband against Quirk's Ultramarines and Matt's Tau Sept. The Free for All finale of Apothos was still one of my favorite videos. The staff has such chemistry together. So doing a very large, so you're asking me a question for Matt. So I can tell you what Matt and I have discussed, and in the immediate future, there is no plans for a big, all-employee included campaign. I'll tell you that right now. There's plans for smaller campaigns that include just Matt and an employee, or myself and an employee, something that we're doing right now. I'm doing the Path to Glory right now with Quirk, and it's been the most fun that I've had since filming 40K Rejects. And Matt's currently working on right now, and this has actually inspired me to work on another one in addition to this. So I'm going to be doing another one after Path to Glory is done, because Path to Glory has been really awesome. Just the start of it, building up the warbands at the beginning, and then the second video was the actual battle report from the warband that we just built in the previous video. I think that was awesome. That was so much fun. And I think you guys agree as well, just because of the overwhelmingly positive response that we got from it. So I think that it's a good thing. And it's very inspiring as well, to me, to see, namely, the vault signups, because that's how we determine if a video is successful. If a series is successful, we don't continue it if that doesn't happen. There could be a lot of positive comments on it, a lot of thumbs up, but if there aren't any vault signups that are coupled with it, then it's not justifying that we continue doing that series or videos. So that, in the end, is the single most important thing that we look at. Although the positive comments are nice as well, so they make you feel good about your life, and they give you fuzzies. Now, hey Dave, I hope all is good. I got a quick question. Are you into any other miniature games besides 40K, or is that your sole gaming hobby? If not, what other hobbies do you have? Steve from Ireland. 40K is my #1 tabletop game. I've played other games, and it just always reverts back to 40K for me. I prefer it. I like the gaming style. I am not a competitive player, yet I have a competitive nature. So I don't like playing in tournaments, but I like to win. I'm not an all-cost winner type of player. I like to have a close game throughout the entire battle and then achieving victory at the end. That's what I like. I don't like slaughtering the opponent. The few times that has happened, because it doesn't happen often, I don't like it. I don't think it's a good feeling all around, and I think it makes for a very boring battle report. So, yes, 40K is my #1. I like card games. Let's see, I like Resident Evil deck building game. If you've never played Resident Evil deck building game, I'm actually saying this to my detriment because they no longer print the game. So in the event that the game that I have somehow gets lost or worn out, I may not be able to buy any more copies of it, because if I say it right now, I make it more known for people who don't know that it exists, and then the chances of me getting another copy in the event that something happens to it, I won't be able to do it anymore. So that's how much I like the game, that I don't want to tell you about it, because I want to be able to play it longer. It's actually very addictive. Also, I like the Rangers card combat game. The Rangers combat card game is awesome. I've played it like 20 times since I've got it. I got a demo copy of it, and they're doing a Kickstarter for it very soon, in like less than 10 days from now, from this date. So if this video is posted tomorrow from the day that I'm making it right now, then it will be like 9 days from when the Kickstarter goes out. And I'll be posting where you can get it. And I do have a Rangers card. I have my own Drustin character, so I'm in the game. Does that make me biased? Yes, slightly, but the fact that the game is also fun and awesome in addition to that is that much more of a bonus. So I like those games. The Electric Andri. Dave, if you were a space wolf, that's not an if, because I am a space wolf, what type of marine would you like to be? For instance, a bloodclaw, a longfang, servitor, whirlwind, driver/pilot. If I was a space wolf, let's see, who would I be? Would I be a character? I think I'd be like Logan's grandson. That's who I would like to be. So I would basically be Logan, only with like really dark brown hair instead of white hair. Blasson. Hey Dave, how often do you lift? Any cardio? What's your favorite body part to train? Who else lifts in the office? Thanks. When I am training, because right at the moment right now I am not training because I injured my knee. When I was filming the Drustin Chronicles, I pulled a ligament in my knee, so that prevented me from exercising for about 6 weeks, which is a bummer. More than that, it's close to 2 months now, and it's still hurting. But when I do exercise, I like to exercise 5 days a week at lunch hour. The rule is if I'm at work, I'm exercising at noon. And my favorite body part is a combo of chest and triceps. That's my favorite. For some reason, the way my body's built, that's the part that comes easiest and most naturally. In fact, my arms are stupid because they're out of proportion. My triceps are bigger than everything else in my arms. And I'm not a big guy by any means. And I know that, even though some guys who like aren't big, they think they're big. I know I'm not big. I would say that I'm average built, and I see. Don't get me talking about my body, man, because then you're going to bring out the vanity, and that's something that shouldn't probably show people, because then that makes people think things that would translate into actual physical things that can be shot through the camera, and then you eat them. And it's not good to eat too much when you're exercising because you want to keep the fat. Look at the distraction here. One question that makes no sense. Mirax9. Dave, what is your story on how you got into 40K? Did you play any other miniatures before 40K? Matt talked about you guys playing Battletech. If so, is 40K your favorite? Thanks. Love your videos. Yes, we play Battletech. We play Battle Space as well. D&D, although we played that after we played 40K. How did I get into 40K? Well, I first got into Lord of the Rings when that was popular, and Games Workshop made that. And one day Matt called me up. He's like, hey, Dave, do you want to play Lord of the Rings? I'm like, sure, let's play Lord of the Rings. What's Lord of the Rings? I had no idea what it was. So he's like, yeah, I'll show you. So he went into a Games Workshop and he bought it. And then he brought it home. He's like, okay, I got to play this with somebody. So he called me up. So I went over to his house and played it. And of course, I was the orcs. I was the bad guys. And he was Aragorn and Legolas and all the forces of light. And just the forces of darkness just didn't compare to the forces of light. They always lost, even though they were completely outnumbered, and I had a cave troll and all of that. It still never worked. But I liked it nonetheless. And then the rest was history. Then we started MiniWarGaming. Then we started the gaming club. And in the club, we needed to start collecting 40K because we realized that was the most popular. And Matt chose Tyranids. I had zero interest in collecting bugs. And I looked around at the other armies that were available, and Chaos was available. I took one look at that Chaos Space Marine starter set, and it just spoke to me. I looked at it, I thought it was the most beautiful collection of miniatures I had ever seen out of the 100 miniatures that I've seen before that, because there wasn't a whole lot. It was brand new to it at the time. So it just spoke to me. I loved it. I loved every minute of every second of looking at those Chaos models, and I knew that nothing else existed in the universe at the time, so I started collecting Chaos. And I've never stopped since. Stan Sand Tiger. Hi Dave. Given that you collect, or used to collect, Space Wolves, I still collect Space Wolves. What would you like to see in a new edition of their codex? They do not need much help from their current state, but what would you do with them? I'd like to see some rage with the Space Wolves. I think that really works into not only their lore, but it would work well with the army. That just like, kind of like how Blood Angels, everyone's got Furious Charge. Like, I would give rage to every Space Wolf. Like, everyone. You know, like right now they have their, whatchamacallit. Come on, what are the words? The words are right here, and I can grab them and I just throw them back in my face. What are the words? Deployment type, come on, come on. Okay, anyway, they have something right now, and I don't really use it too much because I don't prefer to deploy them that way. So, how come? Okay, there's like a million people like leaving the comment right now. And so, yes, that's what it is. I can't believe I can't. They can counterattack? No, it's not counterattack. Okay, anyway, rage. That's what it is. That's what it needs to be. Man, why is it that sometimes when you try to think of something, you can think of everything around it, but not the actual thing itself? It's like the thing itself is blinding you from what you want to be actually saying. It's the strangest thing ever. What a phenomenon it is. Electric Andrew, again, hey Dave, I'm reading the fluff of Chaos and getting to understand that they really do define evil. How do you reconcile playing them as your main army and really being the voice of them, and on the other hand, being a man of religion? And secondly, what would you do if a commissar walked into MiniWarGaming? How would you avoid the blam? Okay, well, first off, I would see a commissar walking from a good distance away, and when he arrived, I'd smell him, so I could fight him blindfolded. And that's the same with any other Chaos follower. They would be able to do it, the same thing. And how do I reconcile playing Chaos and being a man of religion? It's just a game. I don't feel like it affects me at all. And I guess, like, I'm more into the fun of the game as opposed to representing what the models represent. For example, I don't believe that I myself am a cultist, and I don't act as such in my real life. But I do think I'm a Chaos Warlord, so that's totally different though. Wet Hawk. If you had to rank the 4 single God-worshipping legions, World Eaters, Emperor's Children, Thousand Sons, or Death Guard, from favorite to least favorite, how would you rank them? Keep up the good work. Your videos are what made me become a Vault member and rediscover my love for the game. Thanks, dude. Hail the Dark Prince. Let's see. I think it's pretty obvious that World Eaters is my favorite. Then we will go... You know what, to be honest, recently, it's a toss-up between Death Guard and Emperor's Children. It's a toss-up between the two. It used to be an obvious Death Guard, but not so much anymore. But just for traditional purposes, because of how I play my armies, I would say Death Guard next, and then Emperor's Children, and then Thousand Sons. I think that's how it works. It used to be the other way around, where it was World Eaters, Death Guard, Thousand Sons, Emperor's Children. Emperor's Children used to be last. I used to make fun of Slanesh all the time, and yet I call my wife the goddess of Slanesh, so that's kind of counterintuitive. But right now, probably Thousand Sons less. I play them the least, even though there's a really beautifully converted painted army that I have as part of my Chaos army, which I field from time to time, very rare. fielded against Striking Scorpion. When I fought him at Beasts of War Studio, I got see my knee. Old man. But you won't know it until I'm 90, because I'm half Chinese, and I'll become gray overnight, just like that. It's true. My grandma, who is 92, very little gray hair. It's pretty awesome. Yep, so that's the order. Ravaged. Hi, Dave. Will you also be take over by this word of mouth or two? Gross. It seems to pop up over all the place in battle reports. Can we have some backstory? Also, would you consider doing a Path of Glory with Horus Heresy models? It would be cool to see you letting the dice choose from the Traitor Primarchs and your opponent from the Loyalist Primarchs, along with all the amazing toys the Horus Heresy stuff has to offer. You could build your own custom Path to Heresy by swapping out all the models in the Path to Glory supplement with some cool Horus Heresy stuff. Keep up the great work at MWG, and we look forward to seeing more of you in the near future. So, gross. The word gross, I'm not really sure where it originated from. It's mostly with the guys. When I was fighting Lee in the bat rep, he was saying gross all the time. So maybe he's surrounding himself by gross things. And so usually when you surround yourself by stuff, you tend to just absorb it, and it becomes part of your vernacular. So I like to think that I surround myself with awesome sauce and things that are ridiculously awesome and things that make me love my life, which is why those words have slipped into my vernacular. So I don't know why they say gross, to be honest. It's just one of those words. It's kind of like when I was playing Resident Evil with my brothers-in-law. They had this saying where every time something would happen, they would just say, "You don't, ... Kind of like this. If they got a rocket launcher, they'd be like, "You don't, rocket launcher." Or if they got a hunter kill, they'd be like, "You don't kill hunter," because they're saying it as a bad thing because they were jealous. How do you describe how words come up in developed meetings? I don't know. All I know is that I love it. It's very fun for me. Now back to the Horus Heresy Path to Glory thing. I think the idea of using the Path to Glory framework and creating another narrative out of it is a fantastic idea. I wouldn't do it with Horus Heresy because Horus Heresy by itself is its own animal, and it lends itself to a narrative so well, and it already has. So what I would do, however, is substitute other armies. For example, I would love to do an orc Path to Glory. Start with an orc war boss and build up his own warband. How awesome would that be? Or I would do a Blood Angel one, because these are the armies that are kind of neglected in my feeling influence of sphere. They're not really represented too much. There's like the really powerhouse armies, and then there's all the Space Marine legions, and then there's the other armies that are slightly neglected. So orcs is one of those, unfortunately, but I would love to see an orc campaign. Would you like to see an orc campaign? In fact, if I know you're leaving comments for Chris, but if you want to respond to this particular question, say Dave, start by typing Dave so I know it's for me. I would love to see an orc Path to Glory campaign, and then thumb it up. If I see that, chances are it's going to happen, because that would be really fun. It might even be a version where it's Path to Glory Chaos versus Path to Glory Orcs. That would be really cool, doing the two, because they're kind of the two weakest armies. I know it sucks for me to say that, but it's true, unfortunately, especially Chaos. Right now, you know you're a true follower of Chaos when you stick with the army even though they aren't as strong as they used to be. Dawn Slayer. Hey Dave, earlier this year you went on a bit of a hiatus from battle reports. I know that some of the time you were gone, you were spent making those amazing rooms for the content producers. Just wondering what happened, if there was anything else involved. Rock on, Child of the Dark Gods. Yes, there was something else that happened at the time, and I have no problem talking about this just because I've come to peace with it. My brother passed away. He had brain cancer, so I spent a number of months not making battle reports. I figured I would focus my energies on creating different things that didn't require me to be on video. So I kind of went a little nuts with the building of the studios, which in turn worked out very well for the business, and I love it. I love what I have here with Matt. Matt and I are partners 50-50, and I'm very grateful for that. We started it together 8 years ago, and it's been fantastic. It's been a fantastic ride, and I recognize that I'm fortunate in that I can choose what I do here. I can choose whatever way I wish to build up the business. And for those 4 months or whatever it was, I spent working on the studios one by one until they were all done. And I wanted to create an experience for people when they came here and visited. I wanted to give them they felt like they were in a fantasy playland when they arrived, and they would just look at each studio and they'd be like, oh, it's so awesome. Because we're right in the middle of Welland. And if you guys are from the Niagara region, if you're from Ontario, if you're from this area at all, you know that there's not really much in Welland at all. Like, not much. In fact, people from Welland, they come in here, they're like, oh, what's this place? This is so cool. I had no idea that this existed. Because it's in Welland and you wouldn't expect it. But that was my goal and feeling. I wanted to create that destination awesomeness place. So that's what happened during that time. And I appreciate the question. Lord One Motke. Probably didn't say the name right, man, but here's your comment. Dave, first of all, this is Kevin. I'll call you Kevin. It's easier to say your name. I don't know if you remember me, but we met at Valhalla 2014. I was the lone Necron player at the retreat, and I had a brief appearance in the Princess Bride parody video you did. I was the guy wearing the Deadpool shirt in the video. I actually have 2 questions for you. Question 1, Valhalla 2014 was my first time being there, but as far as I know, Blue Table Painting didn't have one in 2015. Do you know what's going on with their Valhalla event and whether they will ever do another? I've been trying to find an announcement on the subject, but no luck. So, right now, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do any more Valhallas. They may or may not. I can't say either way. Now, question 2. Do you enjoy fish and chips? If so, do you ever pretend you're actually eating Tao as a sacrifice to the Chaos Gods? If you are so inclined, please answer this one in Captain Slaughter's voice. Okay, so it's the audio mic. It's going to do some major clipping here if I do the Captain Slaughter voice. So, it still will. Okay, cover your ears because it's going to get really loud. Yes, I do eat fish and chips in the sacrifice of the Chaos Gods. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. I just wanted to close by saying that you and Quirk produce some of my favorite content on MiniWarGaming. I hope to sign up for a Vault membership soon. I really want to watch the Path to Glory campaign in its entirety. It has also become a life goal of mine to someday make it to Welland to film a bat rep with you using our first armies. My Blood Angels versus your Chaos. Don't worry, I never allied my Blood Angels and Necrons on the table, because that would be dumb. Peace out, eat your cornflakes, keep up the good work. Thank you, Kevin, who wore a Deadpool shirt in the Princess Bride video. The Princess Wargamer. Josephus. Now then, Dave, which units, 40k, would you most like to see nerfed / boosted to improve gameplay / balance? Come back to London soon! I would love to go back to London. Okay, let's see. Units that would be nerfed. Like every Tau unit, probably. Like 90% of Necron units. Like 80% of Eldar units. I would say like 50% of Dark Eldar units. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the nerfing. For the bolstering, I would say Chaos needs bolstering, to be honest, because it just sucks when you got to bring like 4 Helldrakes to be competitive in the game. It's not really that good. I say this tongue-in-cheek. I'm kind of serious, yet kind of not serious when I say that but mostly serious about the nerfing of the Tau, because it's ridiculous. I won't even fight a Tau player right now. If you had a Tau army and you're like, hey, Dave, want to do bat rip? Say, nope, forget it. Not fighting Tau. It's just why? It's just boring to see someone shoot and then die, and then there's one turn of a game. It's not good. Not good for anybody. It's not good for business. So this is where the end of the video comes up. Thank you very much for joining us this week on the Sit and Talk. Remember to leave your comments for Chris next week. And also, I'm going to be continuing this Sit and Talk in the vault. So if you wish to watch that, click on the link below so that you can see the second half. I will only be responding to vault members' comments in that video. And if you're not a vault member, I invite you to sign up for a 7-day free trial to the MiniWarGaming vault. You do that by clicking on the link below to watch the second half of this video, and you can go through the process of doing that. In fact, let's see, what does a vault member turn out to be? If you get the bronze and you get the yearly, it works out to like $3 a month or something like that. And what the vault does is, with your membership, you help us to continue doing what we do. You enable us to create videos, to create content. You help to employ all of us here. And that's basically it. That's what it comes down to. So thank you very much for all of your comments, and for vault members especially for helping support us. I really hope that didn't break. That'd be not good. Rob might have a sad face when he's repairing it. Anyway, click on the link below. See you in the next video. Happy wargaming.